Hey, I'm Ron Drotos from keyboardimprov.com, and welcome to our journey through the real book, number 232. It's hard to believe we've gotten this far, at least for me. I think this is my fifth year doing this. It was one a week for years, and now I'm doing two a week. We'll see how soon we can complete it. I've still got over 150 to go, but it's part of the journey, right? That's what we do. That's why I always say, enjoy the journey and let the music flow. Letting the music flow will actually help us play much better. It's all about flow. But enjoying the journey is what it's about, because you look at a tune, a collection of tunes like this, and there's 400 of them. So it's overwhelming to think we're going to learn all 400 at once, or even play 400 at once. Try sitting down and playing 400 tunes. If you play one a minute, what's that, like, I don't know, 7 hours or something like that. It's crazy, right? But we can do it over time and really go thoroughly through things. And that's one of the goals here, is to hopefully share that with you and do it for myself too. So Milano by John Lewis. This tune is special to me for a few reasons. One is that Milano, which is the city in Italy, I spent a wonderful week there when I was Gerry Mulligan's assistant. Gerry Mulligan, the great jazz saxophonist. This was in 1987 in April. I spent a week there just as his guest. His wife was from Milano, and Franca, her name was, and had a wonderful time, just basically on my own, just lying in the parks. And I went to see The Last Supper by Leonardo. It was before, I think, crowds discovered it again, so I was the only one there for about 20 minutes, just watching it, looking at this painting. It almost came alive, the way the dynamics and everything are. Wonderful painting. So the other reason why I love this tune, or feel close to it, is because I had 3 encounters with John Lewis, the composer. One time I went up to him and asked him a question after a gig, because I used to do that a lot. I'd go up and just ask people questions, and they tolerated it. It was after I saw him with the Modern Jazz Quartet, and I said, the Modern Jazz Quartet started out as Dizzy Gillespie's rhythm section, with the big band, this loud, brassy, bebop big band, and Modern Jazz Quartet had such a chamber music, quiet sound, concert hall, but quiet sound. What was the connection, the continuity? He immediately answered. He said, they're both riff-oriented. So Dizzy, with his big band, even though it was bebop, had a big swing influence, and they would play these riffs, and John Lewis, definitely riff-oriented. Even though he was associated with Charlie Parker, Miles Davis, The Birth of the Cool, which is a bebop group, he's really rooted in the swing era. Really rooted in the swing era. And that's why he worked so well as Lester Young's pianist. If you can check out recordings with John Lewis with Lester Young, wonderful, wonderful recordings. Second time I met him, let's see, was there 3? Maybe there was just 2. 1, 2... Oh, I saw him briefly. Okay, yeah. So Gerry Mulligan, he came in and said hi at the Blue Note when Gerry was performing there, and I was right near there. So I sort of had another close contact with him. The third one, though, I led the band at his son's wedding, the dance band, in Central Park at a place called the Boathouse. That was real thrill. Everybody was there, from Ahmet Ertegun to Milt Jackson, and we're playing dance music and some jazzy cocktail music. It was a lot of fun. Okay, so John Lewis, Milano. He was very influenced by classical music too. Recorded some albums of Bach, jazz interpretations of Bach called The Bridge Game, volumes 1 and 2. Check those out. They're late recordings of his. And he wrote pieces about Europe. He liked spending time in Europe. And Afternoon in Paris is probably more well known, but then Milano as well. And the wonderful thing about John Lewis's playing is that it encompassed a lot of jazz, all the way from the 30s, even maybe some pre-30s things once in a while, some really early jazz kind of figurations. But then it included bebop, and it had a high amount of classical influence too, both in his arrangements and just how he would play sometimes. Another great tune of his is Django, dedicated to Django Reinhardt. It's in a real book. And so we can play this several ways. We could treat it almost like a reflective classical piece. This is very beautiful, kind of a semi-classical style. or we could swing it. It really works both ways, so we could even do it kind of astride. Fascinating elements of John Lewis's playing you can check out too is that when you hear him play, it's kind of minimalist. He doesn't play a lot. He plays clear phrases. It's from the heart. He doesn't overplay. Plays sometimes you say, "Oh, play a little more, play a little more," but really beautiful, sparse playing, melodic playing. He was an influence on someone like Keith Jarrett, like that, who can play very melodically and sometimes very sparse. And what was I going to say? Oh, the fascinating thing is that his idol was Art Tatum, who played the opposite, millions of notes. And there's a story that one time John Lewis had the opportunity to hear Art Tatum play at a club every night for a whole week. Like he just cleared his schedule, was able to do that, and he paid whatever he needed to pay, and he just stayed there like 5 hours a night, whatever it was, just absorbing Tatum's playing. And he knew that that was his chance for whatever reasons, you know. He was going to do that, and that was his gift to himself, like for the rest of his life. And he really absorbed a lot. But instead of playing the million notes, he kind of just picks out one or two of the chords that Tatum might have played. Lots of creativity. John Lewis had a musical intelligence, I think, that was really inspired those around him, like Gerry Mulligan, who thought very highly of him, or Miles Davis, who loved his playing as well. Miles wanted to get John Lewis into Charlie Parker's group, but Charlie Parker preferred maybe someone who sort of swung in a different way or something, with Walter Bishop Jr. But Miles Davis loved John Lewis, so that's maybe our invitation. It's good enough for Miles, good enough for us. So I'm going to start out of tempo and see where it leads me. I like doing some reharmonization on this tune, using some inner voice movement and everything. So just see where it takes us, and hopefully it inspires you to do the same. Yeah, got into some nice swingy kind of stuff with the block chords there. Again, John Lewis is the whole history of jazz, from big band to small group to classical arrangements to bebop to blues, deep into the blues as well. So big inspiration on me. Check him out, and if you find one thing and it's not your cup of tea, check out something else by him because it's really varied. At the end, just very lots of voice leading, you know, basically black notes to white notes. It ends on the C, so find these voicings with the black notes and then slide them up a half step to the white note, or you can put the B in the bass and make it a B chord to the C chord up a half step. So pick up what you can from that. That's what I'm making these too. Like when I used to sit and stand up and watch Billy Taylor sitting at the piano over his shoulder, I'm doing this for you to pass on at least a little bit of that, or at least what I can do. Good luck, have fun, thanks for joining me here. If you're interested, check out some of the free links below to help you play with more joy, less stress. My video course, take you through hundreds of lessons and help you understand music in a more analytical but also a broader way. A little more, take the pressure off ourselves to play perfect in kind of a fake way and let ourselves come out. That's the main thing. I think that's the main goal with everything. You learn as much as you can and you let your inner self come out through your music. Thanks for joining me here. See you in the next video.